Oh, there you are. How you doing? I'm Richard Henry, and I'm applying on Kickstarter for funding to help fund my book in formatting and properly setting it up with grammar and all the other good stuff. I managed to self-publish it on Lulu and lately on Amazon, but it's not up to par with getting it into mainstream publishing. Back in 2008, I had a dream. I was laying on my back at the YMCA and I was praying out loud that I might write a book and share my dream of helping make change towards substance abuse, addictions, homelessness, the whole thing. And I knew I couldn't do it until I cleaned up, till I got sober. And inside I realized, I was having a hard time on my own. The only way I could do that maybe is to get arrested. After praying that night, the next day I woke up. Sure enough, I got arrested and sentenced to 107 days in jail. Well, that 107 days, I stuck by my word and I started writing page after page after page. No sentences, paragraphs, no nothing. I got, probably about half of what I really got written in my book. I went over my book maybe 10 times and went from sentences, incorporated sentences, periods, question marks, got into paragraphs and chapters and everything. It's taken me a long time to get where I'm at today. But unfortunately, I'm at my wit's end. I only have grade 8 education, and I have self-educated myself, and I get excited when I spell a word and hit spell check and go, yeah, I got it right. So anyway, on with my story. We need to help educate our young. If modern society really wants to do something to help the next generation, we need to educate our youth. And I think part of that education could be told through my story, Life in the Game of Addictions. We have to teach our next generation the false promise of drugs and alcohol have, and what they do for you in trying to cope with your life, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. These are my grandkids, my kids, my son Curtis, me, my daughter Carly, and Bentley, Courtney in the middle with Lily, and Cassandra with Carter. This is what I work hard for every day in trying to bring about change, breaking the stigma, breaking the cycle of addictions. There was a lot of addictions in my family in the past, and support. I bought a printer. I'm just on a disability, so I don't have much money, and what I do have, I do purchase stuff like a printer, and I made up this flyer as one of my goals. I heard so much about Mothers Against Drunk Driving, I come up with my own. It's called SADD, S-A-D-D. It's Substance Abuse Defiant Disorder. For every action, there is a reaction. For every thought, there is an emotion. For every emotion, there is a behavior. Help break the stigma around mental health and substance abuse. Everyone has issues or problems in their life. Many who suffer are in silence and cope the best way they know how, by self-medicating. Sad is that they are abusing a substance in defiance of their disorder. Let's all do our part and help sad people become happy people. I not only have a dream, I have a story to tell, and it's in my memoir. A testimony of one man's battle with addiction, official indifferences on what should be done, and ultimately my redemption. In this book, I have a lot of referrals. I have a lot of endorsements, I should say. And I also have a word dictionary in here. Let's see, I'm just going to try and find some of the endorsements. Here we go. Okay. Suzanne, hi Rich, I read your book and enjoy it very much. It has given me a lot of insight to the battles that addiction addicts face. I commend you for your work. Let's see, some other one. Here's Nathan Mullen. He's a counselor, assistant counselor with the City of Ottawa. He read my book, Life in the Game of Addictions. Thank you for your email. You have an extremely compelling story. While I have been unable to read through the entire document you provided to us, I have read through some of it and am amazed by your insights into the world that many people will never experience. I've also wrote a piece on, I don't know if I already mentioned, on homelessness. It's only one piece of my puzzle. It's the implications for policy and practice to help bring about change. And same thing, I shared a piece with Stan, a harm reduction worker at the Somerset West Community Health Center, which afterwards I ended up working there for 4 years as a peer worker. Stan says, I work at Somerset West Community Health Center. I think we've met, but I'm not sure. Lots of people pass through the Nessie room. I read your My Journey from Nova Scotia to the Streets to Ottawa, which you placed under my door, and I was deeply moved. You have had quite the journey. It is incredible read, and I think something more people ought to hear and know of. Forget all the claimed professional experts. Your knowledge is more valuable than what anyone with an academic degree has. Lots of lessons there, and you tell it with great courage and honesty. I think you capture the reality of living on the streets so well, not to mention the very isolation elements of our society that make living by oneself away from the community a challenge. And my dictionary in here is, I think, a very valuable part. It was mentioned in one of my reviews. I got over 100 words in here, like, bag chaser, jonesing. This one lady was having issues with her daughter, so I emailed her a copy. They weren't getting along, they were separated, and the mother had no idea, no understanding of what addiction was. After reading my book, she phones her daughter and says, okay, I know what you're going through, you're jonesing. And the daughter laughs and says, no, Mom, I'm jonesing. Most of you know what this is jonesing. You're craving for your choice substance of abuse. Well, from that on in, they have a relationship and a better understanding because she read my book. Okay, so let's see, what's the next thing? I'm applying for, I've donated so many of my books out. Whenever I get a chance, I've donated some out to the jail, to the community centers. I drop off my flyers whenever I can that publicizes where they can get my book. But I need to get it into mainstream society, and to get it into our schools, into our libraries, into the local stores, that people can help bring about change. Help me help bring about change. Let's all work together, help kickstart my venture and finishing my dream, my goal in helping others. Thank you. God bless.